Let's see what secrets this classic holds. A gentle touch for a forgotten beauty.
All right, let's see what we're dealing with here. Very carefully now.
Careful with these classic lines. This Stingray deserves respect.
Let's see what we have under all this rust. This 1967 Stingray has seen better days, but every layer tells a story.
All right, let's see what we've got under all this grime. This old beauty has stories to tell. All right, let's start with the trunk lid. Careful with the pressure around the emblem. We've got our degreaser here, gonna gently spray it on.
Look at that rust, really caked on there. Let's see what we can do with this old Stingray. Looks like it's seen better days.
We're gonna start by carefully sanding down this corroded dashboard section. See all this rust build up here?
All right, let's carefully inspect these seat frames. The corrosion is quite extensive, typical for a 67 Stingray left to the elements.
All right, let's see what we're dealing with here. This steering wheel's seen better days, that's for sure. Needs a lot of work. We need to check the structural integrity first, especially these main support beams. Inspecting the chassis integrity. Significant corrosion here. Just checking the exhaust now, seems pretty corroded.
Look at the state of these brakes. We'll get them shining like new. Look at the state of this suspension, completely neglected. This 1967 Corvette Stingray deserves better.
Watch as we bring this classic back to life, starting with these incredibly neglected headlights.
Let's see what we're dealing with here. These taillights have definitely seen better days.
This 67 Stingray has seen better days. A true challenge for car classic craft.
All right, let's take a closer look at this grille. See the extent of the corrosion here. We found this 1967 Corvette Stingray abandoned in a field. Just look at the state of these mirrors.
With each pass of the scraper, we're revealing the history beneath this forgotten beauty.
Witness the revival of a legend. This 67 Stingray, lost to time, now begins its journey back.
All right, let's get this classic beauty cleaned up. Feel the power of this pressure washer. Look at this door. We're gonna bring this classic back to life, starting with this degreaser.
Watch as we restore this classic. Years of neglect, but we'll bring it back.
Look at the state of this trunk lid. It's gonna take some serious work. Look at the state of this wheel, completely covered in rust.
Watch as we restore this classic. The engine bay needs a lot of work.
Look at this rust. We'll get this dashboard looking brand new. We're gonna get this Stingray looking brand new again. These seats have seen better days.
Watch as we restore this classic. The details matter.
Look at the difference the polisher makes on this undercarriage. It's cutting right through that heavy rust. Each pass with the brush reveals more of the original metal. Look at that shine starting to come through. Look at all this rust, we'll get it shining again. Okay, let's get this classic Stingray back to its former glory. That suspension needs some serious love. All
right, let's get this headlight shining again. Deep clean.
Gently brushing away years of neglect, revealing the hidden beauty beneath.
All right, let's get this classic looking like new again. This heavy rust and mud won't be easy. We're carefully removing all this caked on mud from the grille of this classic Corvette. Almost there. This vintage beauty is gonna shine.
With smooth, deliberate motions, we start pressure washing the thick mud off this classic mirror.
Look at that shine starting to come through. This is satisfying.
With our specialized degreaser, even the toughest, caked-on mud loosens its grip, preparing the surface.
Let's get this classic beauty shining again, removing all this stubborn mud and rust.
We're carefully removing layers of grime.
This 67 Corvette will shine again.
This 1967 Corvette Stingray needs some serious cleaning. We'll start with the passenger door.
Carefully removing all this caked on mud to reveal the original paint.
We're carefully removing the old hardware before we begin the deep clean.
Careful now, gotta get every bit of this grime off. This classic deserves the best. Watch as we restore this classic. Years of grime just melt away with our specialized cleaning process. Look at the detail on this grille. It's really coming up nicely now.
Watch how we bring this classic mirror back to life. Every detail matters when you're working on a legend.
All right, let's get this classic looking brand new.
Each section requires attention to detail. This vintage model needs careful handling.
Okay, carefully detach this panel. Make sure not to scratch the paint. All right, let's get this panel off carefully. Easy does it. Watch those clips.
Okay, let's carefully detach this panel. We need to prep the surface thoroughly before we apply the new coat.
Okay, now we're carefully addressing the damaged sections of the trunk lid. This requires a very steady hand.
Today we're going to be working on this beautiful 1967 Corvette. We'll start by removing the damaged trim.
We're carefully restoring this classic dashboard, removing years of accumulated grime. First, we pressure wash to get the heavy stuff off, then it's all about the detail work with the cloth.
Careful with the wheel, it's an antique.
I know, I'm being gentle.
Today, we're deep cleaning the undercarriage of this classic 1967 Corvette Stingray.
Welcome back to Car Classic Craft. Today we're tackling this 67 Stingray. It's seen better days, but we'll get her shining.
Each curve, every reflection, meticulously restored. This isn't just cleaning, it's reviving a legend.
Each brake caliper is meticulously cleaned to ensure optimal performance and a showroom shine.
Just getting into these tight spots here, making sure every bit of grime is gone. It's all about the details.
Car Classic Craft, where every detail shines. Precision cleaning for your prized possession.
First, we thoroughly rinse the taillights to remove any loose dirt and grime. This initial step is crucial for a scratch-free cleaning process.
Each component is carefully restored to its original glory.
Today, we're carefully dismantling the front bumper of this beautiful 1967 Stingray.
right, that should do it. Let's get this mirror off carefully. Almost got this last one. This hood is coming off clean. Let's get this fender looking brand new, removing every bit of rust and smoothing it out perfectly. Okay, let's get this spot perfectly smooth. Watch the pressure here. We make sure every detail is perfect for our clients. Careful now, just a little more off this edge. This classic deserves perfection. Careful with this classic, we want it perfect. Today we are restoring this classic 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. We will start by sanding the wheels.
All right, we're carefully sanding down these areas to prepare for the next stage of restoration. It's crucial to remove all the rust.
All right, this section's almost done. Looking much better. All right, this section's almost done. Looking good. Careful with that pressure. All right, let's get this undercarriage looking brand new. Precision is key here. All right, let's get this classic beauty back in shape. Careful with that degreaser. With this classic, every detail matters, right down to the exhaust. We'll get this looking brand new.
First, we smooth the surface, making sure it's perfectly prepped for the next stage of the repair. Precision is key here.
With our Car Classic Craft expertise, we'll restore this mint green 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray's suspension to perfection.
We ensure every detail is perfect, from mechanical fixing to part replacement.
And with this final adjustment, the taillight restoration is complete, bringing back that classic shine. Just a few more turns on this bumper bolt, ensuring it's perfectly aligned for that classic Stingray look.
Perfecting every detail, bringing this classic back to life.
Careful with that, it's an original part. Almost done here, just this last piece. We've completed the reassembly. Now for the final engine check and polish. This Stingray is looking immaculate. With Car Classic Craft, every detail of your 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray receives meticulous attention. We ensure every classic car is restored to its original glory. All right, moment of truth. Let's see this beauty. Look at this shine, absolutely perfect. Every detail on this Stingray is flawless.